I'm a Democrat now. I'm a moderate Democrat in 2026. I don't know about 28. For 2026, I am a non-woke Democrat. You didn't give us the candidate we wanted. Now you don't get the governor's mansion. So it is actually about sending a message. I am not a Democrat. I am not a leftist. I am not even liberal. I'm right wing.
Well, then I'm confused.
I'm an identitarian. I'm a nationalist.
If you guys feel betrayed, where you're not a moderate Democrat, but you do maybe hope that the Republican Party grows more of a spine and has a more nationalist approach and is willing to divest from the blank check for Israel, here's the good news. You don't have to be a moderate Democrat. There are people like us out there, and there are plenty of people like that in the voting American public.
Yeah.
None of them are in the Democrat Party. I've had him on the show, and it's very difficult for me to hate him because we had a good conversation. But like I've said, at least I know where he stands. I think he's changed it a little bit because when I spoke with Nick Fuentes on the show, we asked him about this, and he didn't say that he was a Democrat. I remember him saying that, he was disappointed with Trump, and this does need to be a right-wing movement, but it needs to be improved and corrected. Well, at the same time as you hear this from Megyn Kelly, and I know that Nick Fuentes, by the way, does not like Tucker Carlson, rightfully so. He has disagreements that I understand with Megyn Kelly, but at the same time, we're hearing a lot of the same rhetoric. Now, Nick Fuentes, the crazy radical right-wing extremist, as the left has labeled him, he's a moderate Democrat too, and you should be.
It's getting really, really weird. And I will tell you this much. I trust me. I trust you. I only trust people younger than me because they're not feds. And I will say this. Fuck everybody in this administration. Trump, Vance, Rubio, Hegseth. I don't want one of them. Fuck anybody that worked for Fox News ever. Oh, well, he hasn't worked for Fox News in 3 years. Fuck him. You worked for Rupert Murdoch for 10 years. Rupert Murdoch was paying you $20 million a year for 10 years. Fuck you. I don't trust you. Get out of my head. Oh, you're against Israel now? Oh, great. Just when we needed it. Only after everybody on earth was red-pilled. Only after everybody and literally their grandfather was red-pilled by Instagram Reels. Oh, now Tucker's against Israel. Thanks a lot. Only after we all got red-pilled. So I don't trust you. And here's my message. It's the same message as before. 2026, vote down. I'm a Democrat now. I'm a moderate Democrat in 2026. I don't know about 28. For 2026, I am a non-woke Democrat. Hi, my name's Nick Fuentes. I'm an Afro-Latino, non-woke Democrat. I care about affordability. I care about foreign interventions. I care about the border. I'm a non-woke moderate Democrat. I think the GOP needs to be destroyed. I think the corrupt criminal government of Trump needs to be slowed down. We need to impeach the orange. It's time to put this in a peach.
Now, to be fair, I appreciate that at least he lets you know where he stands. People like Tucker and Megyn Kelly, like Megyn Kelly just recently said, it doesn't matter what happens, I'll still vote Republican. Tucker Carlson has said, of course I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. Nick Fuentes will tell you that he is. I disagree. If Nick comes back on the show, it will then be a disagreement between a conservative and a Democrat, a moderate Democrat. That's fair. We know where we stand. But is that what you thought you were getting this entire time? And then he says, I'm a non-woke Democrat. I care about the border. Problem. Name me any significant platform wing of the Democrat Party that is non-woke and has done anything as it relates to immigration other than open the borders and gaslight Americans while they complained about open borders. Any. I'm a moderate. Aren't Catholic? But so the policy of the left, there's not a single Democrat with a national platform who would put any limitations on abortions whatsoever. Name me any Democrat who says that biological men can't become women and didn't at least at one point very recently support biological men in women's sports. Name me any Democrat, any significant portion of Democrats who believe in the absolute right to self-preservation in the Second Amendment. Name me any Democrat, name me any significant Democrat who was furious about the Department of Misinformation and Nina Jankowicz. You know what, Nick? Name me any Democrat who stood up for you when you were deplatformed. Any. You're moderate? Okay. They're not. Not a one. I guess now we know the solution. Hand it over to them and hope that they'll moderate once they have consolidated power. I just disagree.
No, it's even worse. It's not hope that they'll moderate. He knows it'll get bad. I think that's what they're depending on. They're accelerationists. If it's going to get bad, let's make it get bad right now. We're going to get our candidates in there. Where your candidates were on the ballot. How'd they do in the primaries? It's not bad enough yet. So you need 4 years? You need 8 years to get it that bad? How far gone do we become? Because you said it's over here in America right now. In another video, you said that if it's immigration, you're not even interested in it anymore. It's just Israel now. Which is it? You're a moderate Democrat who's concerned about the border? Destroy everything? America's already gone? We got to rebuild? Which is it?
Let me ask you this. Do you think that it is more feasible? So my view on Israel, first off, you guys know, screw AIPAC. AIPAC can go fornicate themselves with a wire brush. I've been very clear.
It's very painful, too.
$3 to $4 billion a year that we give to Israel. Now, it is different than aid to a lot of other countries because it's military. And by the way, it often is basically requiring them to purchase arms from the United States. But still, no more handouts to Israel. We only work with them on an ad hoc basis if there's something that we need from them or vice versa. So end the blank check. That's my view. Do you think that it is more feasible to find or convince plenty of Republicans to hold that view? That's the primary view that needs to change if you're saying that's your only issue.
Yeah.
Do you think that is more feasible than getting the entire Democrat Party or even any candidates to say, yeah, strong on borders, strong on family values, America first, Second Amendment, freedom of speech, all of those, none of the transing of kids and even, frankly, adults, two genders. What do you think is more feasible if that's your one issue? Because there are plenty of voters out there like me who, by the way, they voted in these primaries. And there are plenty of voters who are much more pro-Israel than I am. Which one is more likely? Because that's who you're handing it to. And as I understand it, Mission Control was just saying there's an update.
Yeah.
Nick Fuentes addressed. And I do think that unlike Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson will never show up. Nick will show back up. And we can have a productive, respectful. People have often been telling I can't believe you should hate him. I don't hate anybody, but I don't have the ill will toward Nick Fuentes that people demand because if nothing else, at least he says the part that Tucker and Megyn completely evade. He said, I am a moderate Democrat, vote Democrat. I couldn't disagree more. Tucker and Megyn just go, well, I don't know. It's a Jesse Ventura. I'm just asking questions Padre. Let's see the update from Nick on his political beliefs on his show, I guess.
This was when he was on with you. He's clarifying.
No. This is from yesterday.
No, this is from yesterday, I guess. Nick Fuentes
Never mind.
gave an update.
Apologies. Yeah.
People say you're only shooting yourself in the foot if you don't vote for the Republican. No, we're shooting you in the face. And that's what we want to do, metaphorically. People say if you don't vote for the Republican and you get a Democrat, you're cutting your nose to spite your face. You're shooting yourself in the foot. You're only hurting yourself. No, you're wrong. We're hurting you. Because if Vivek doesn't win the election, then Anduril doesn't get its kickbacks. If Vivek doesn't win the election, Les Wexner doesn't get his kickback. If Vivek doesn't win the election, none of the billionaires, none of the Republicans get what they want. Good. Fuck you. You didn't give us the candidate we wanted. Now you don't get the governor's mansion. You don't get the seat and all the benefits and privileges that are conferred by it. Vivek doesn't get a political career, and all his backers don't get the kickbacks that they want. So it is actually about sending a message. I am not a Democrat. I am not a leftist. I am not even liberal. I'm right-wing.
Well, then I'm confused.
I'm an identitarian. I'm a nationalist. And yeah, Amy Acton is not going to be good for Ohio. But here's the way it's going to shake out. In November, you got two candidates that can win the election. You got a Democrat and a Republican. You got Amy Acton and you got Vivek Ramaswamy. It's a binary. Those are the only two that are going to win. Now, if you vote for Vivek, Vivek is going to win. If you sit out, well, Vivek won't get those votes. But if you vote for Amy Acton, it improves her chances of winning.
I get it.
And so this is why I'm telling all the Groypers, we are going for the Democrat in Ohio. And I know it's unpopular, and I know it's controversial. Good. And I know people are not going to like it. That's fine. People are going to hate me for this. And they're going to call me a shill. And they're going to say I'm a plant. And they're going to say we're vindicated on him. He turns out to be a Democrat. Fine. Let's be the villain. Let's be the villain, because we hate the Republican Party right now more than we hate the Democrats. You're damn right. And you want to know why? Because the Democrats, at least it's the devil we know. The Democrats are the enemy. I'll take an enemy over a traitor. The Republican Party put up a pharmaceutical billionaire Hindu Indian who wants more H-1Bs to run for governor of a Rust Belt state. That is a betrayal. That is an insult. They have spit in the face of every Republican in the state of Ohio. They thought that they could get away with that. They thought that we would tolerate that they could shove that down our throats because we're stuck, because they have us hostage, because we have no other options. We have to go with the Republican. So they really thought they would get away with that. That's who they like. Because Vivek is a billionaire, he's got a lot of money, and he's got a lot of friends in Silicon Valley with deep pockets. So the Republican Party leadership loves it. They don't care that we absolutely hate it. They know that we're going to shut up and take it because we got nowhere else to go, because they think that they have us hostage. I am not a Democrat. I'm under no illusions about what the Democratic Party represents. I think they're immoral. But I am going to tell people to vote for the Democrats, to send a message to the Republicans. We will not tolerate a Republican Party that doesn't represent us anymore. We will not tolerate a Republican Party that isn't America first. If it's not America first, we're sending it back. If it's not America first, we're not voting for it. You're not going to get the seat. You're not going to get the benefits. We will not tolerate it. So yes, we are going out for the Democrat happily, proudly, as a middle finger to Vivek Ramaswamy and his giant head.
It's still funny. It is funny. And I'll just sort of, give a pass to him saying I'm a moderate Democrat and then today saying he's not a Democrat. I get that you say things off the cuff. And here's the thing. This is, and if you're, a groiper or someone who's, let me ask you, has any of this worked? You see the inconsistency there. And this is when I was trying to, question Nick and be fair. I saw inconsistencies that I was trying to clarify. I did my best, but it seems like he's right back to them. Let me explain. So this is a middle finger because they don't represent us. Well, here's the thing. I know that, as I understand it, Nick Fuentes didn't like Casey Putz, that he doesn't like him. But I say Israel is the main issue. He's certainly the kind of person who would be in line with what you're talking about, right? Anti-AI, anti-data centers while being sponsored by AI. Linking arms, Nick Fuentes suggested, hey, Ro Khanna. Well, he appeared, we told you, right, with Samaria Munshi, a pro-Palestine and a pro-Palestine and a pro-Iran Muslim, resigned from the White House Religious Liberty Commission over the Iran war. That lady, Contessa, was there. Vish Burra was fired for criticizing Jews, depicting them as cockroaches. This guy was all about Israel and Epstein. In other words, the things that you're talking about, there was that candidate in the primary. Didn't get any momentum.
Yeah.
And believe, I agree with you on Vivek.
Yeah.
I had him sit right here, and I got into an argument with him on the show. There's a lot about Vivek that rubs me the wrong way. But the candidates who have been put up, the people of you said, hey, if people like whatever it is, Thomas Massey, people like, I know not Nick personally, but Casey Putz versus Vivek. Who was the other one there who we had?
Fishback.
Fishback,
yeah,
right? These would be indicative, emblematic of what Marjorie Taylor Greene, what Tucker Carlson, what people like Candace Owens, what you're all saying, the Israel problem, the AI problem. They just lost. They just absolutely got trounced, okay? So it didn't do it there. And so now, when the voters have spoken in the primaries, it's let's give the middle finger to the chosen person for the Republican Party that rejected what it is I'm discussing right now. Now let's vote for Democrat because we view it as a betrayal. It's a betrayal by people who want to determine the direction of this country. And I get they don't have that many options, right? Vivek is not the best option. The other option was someone who would be seen as having Groiper-like policies. Rejected. And so when you don't get that, go with the left. It still doesn't make sense. Fishback. When someone like that gets rejected, go with the left, none of this works. None of this will ever work. Fishback, his whole thing revolved around Israel and Epstein. We've seen this rhetoric manifest itself in candidates who could be voted for. People didn't. So at a certain point, it seems like no matter what it is, you're ultimately going to vote for the left. Also, let me ask you this. The problems that you have with Vivek, which I have too. I don't know enough about the candidate in Ohio who's a Democrat. Are they really hardline against AI? I know that as a whole, the Democrat Party has certainly been in bed with big tech. To a degree not seen with the Republican Party. I'm not comfortable with it. I know the Peter Thiels of the world. I get it. Elon Musk. But historically, you look at Facebook, Meta, Instagram, Twitter, Jack Dorsey, YouTube, Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft. I get that some of them understood the pendulum was swinging the other way, so out of self-preservation, it's like big banks. Big banks, they bet on Obama, they bet on Bush because they thought that George W. Bush would win. They thought that Barack Obama would win. These are not principled stances in support. It's who they think is most likely to win. You saw some of that with big tech. Big tech has been in the pocket of the left for decades. 4 decades. So if your problem is with big tech, how could you possibly say, yeah, so we'll take the Democrat? Because there are real life consequences to that. People being deplatformed, free speech no longer existing, people losing their Second Amendment rights, people funding every single NGO, including to create transgender Sesame Street in Iraq or whatever the hell it is. So it's, yeah, okay. Person who represents your views loses in a primary. Let's vote for the Democrat who's just as bad on big tech anyway. Talk about Vivek, his ties with pharmaceutical companies. Yeah, if you look back, it wasn't great.
It seemed very snake oil like.
Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, someone with COVID. Yeah, that's right. The left is no better on those issues. They're worse. If you just want to say, I don't care and I'm not going to take part and just burn it all down, that's fine. But don't tell parents that, hey, we want improved public schools. We're glad that queer, genderqueer, and gay like me, is that we're glad that Huck Finn, Tom Sawyer is back. We're glad that maybe we'll be able to have a little bit more school choice. We're glad that we've had a little bit of tax relief. We're glad that, it's a matter of policy that there are 2 genders. We're glad that at least culturally it's okay for people to speak out against biological men competing against women, beating the shit out of them in sports. We're glad that we are a net negative migration country for the first time since we have been born. We're glad that the border is sealed to anywhere between 96 to 99%. Don't tell those people that they're all shills. I don't think that Tucker is acting in good faith, and I think Megyn Kelly, as you've seen with her record, right, Fox News and feminist, and then went to pro-trans, and then went to anti-trans, and then went to pro-Trump to anti-Trump, was talking about Islam pro-TP USA, but not willing to stand in the pocket for the people who are being attacked. I just think that she goes where the audience is. That's my interpretation. Or maybe she's very fickle. That happens too. I've known a lot of women like that. Nick, at least he'll tell you where he stands, and I would like to have that conversation. Nick stands here voting for Democrats. He said moderate Democrat. And then he said he's not a Democrat, but let's just assume he stands here voting for Democrats. I stand on the opposite. It's not my only stance, but when it comes down to said binary decision, you will never find me voting for a Democrat, hoping that they'll just eventually not be woke and devour us. Won't happen. And Groypers, people like that, if you guys feel betrayed, where you're not a moderate Democrat, but you do maybe hope that the Republican Party grows more of a spine and has a more nationalist approach and is willing to divest from the blank check for Israel. Here's the good news. You don't have to be a moderate Democrat. There are people like us out there. And there are plenty of people like that in the voting American public.
Yeah.
None of them are in the Democrat Party. If you are an identitarian, Christian, traditional nationalist, welcome to your new home. We don't have to agree on everything, but we agree a whole lot more than you will with anyone in the Democrat Party. Give us a few days. Maybe change your mind. Nick's welcome on the show. And so is that OnlyFans stripper. Anything else?
Yeah.
Have them on together.
That'd be kind of weird.
It would be pretty funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't know why you have me on the split screen with this whore.
Hey, shut up, you Nazi.
It's just a really bad strategy. It really isn't.
Want to wage a Holocaust on your crabs.
Hey, I got rid of those crabs.
Don't worry, I guess there's only 250,000 of them, so they can be done.
I don't even know if Nick has said that, though.
The numbers?
Yeah. I don't know if he said the numbers.
He did a whole. I don't know if he said a number. Very few people are willing to commit to a number, but he did the whole sugar cookies or cookies.
That was a joke, though.
Cookies thing.
I don't like taking jokes and applying. And I would ask
totally
him how
understand that. I agree, but I imagine that he would say it's less than 6 million, or that he doesn't care. One of the two.
Yeah, I don't think he's as nuts as some of the statements that people have made out there. But
sure.
it's enough. Democrat, not a Democrat. It'd just be like me going on an MS Now panel. That's how I view it at this point.
How is this any different than libertarianism right now?
Well, that's the big
It's
problem.
the
As
same idea.
a libertarian, Tucker Carlson was a libertarian. Megyn Kelly was really more of a libertarian in the sense that she was kind of conservative, but she wasn't conservative socially. She would have told you that. Dave Smith is a libertarian.
Yeah.
Ian Carroll, I don't know what he is. Candace Owens was a lifelong liberal. So, none of these people, here's the one through line is none of these people have been consistently conservative throughout their life. None of them. Maybe Nick Fuentes, you could say, is the exception until now. Certainly more consistent than Megyn Kelly or Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. I'll give him that. That's the one consistent through line. None of these people have been conservative, right-wing, as you know it, throughout their timeline in the public eye. They have flip-flopped. At least twice to a man or woman. A complete 180 at least twice with all of them.
Yeah.
But trust him now. Oh, you're still here, which is a miracle in the age of Instagram and shorts. I think you have some shorts up there. You have an attention span that is longer than that of a fruit gnat. So thank you. I'm glad you probably would like it a lot more if you actually head over and subscribe on Rumble. I'm live there 5 days a week, 11 a.m. Eastern, where free speech is still alive. Go to Rumble. Get off the social media ghetto that is YouTube, with a lot of homosexual activity here on YouTube. There may be some on Rumble, but I haven't seen it.